When you move to the US, you notice that there's so many things that Americans view as normal, but they're just like not to us Germans. Today I want to talk about 10 things that are pretty common in the US, but are kind of strange to us Germans. Little disclaimer here. Of course, Germans can have these things that I'm going to talk about too, and Americans might not have them or have what Germans have. It's just all based on my own experience that I collected over the past 5.5 years, going back and forth between Germany and the US and living in the US now for the past 9 months. One of the first things I noticed in the US, and I thought it's just because I was using public showers while hiking the PCT, but I noticed pretty quickly that it's a common thing in the US to have fixed shower heads. Yes, you can't move them, and I wonder why that is. Don't you appreciate when somebody tall is in the shower, they can push it up, and when you go into the shower and you way smaller than them, you pull it down, and if you need to go to closer to your head or underneath your armpit, you can take that thing off and shower wherever you want to. And if you just want to have a body shower, you take it down to here and put your hair up so it's not getting wet. I don't know why you guys don't have that. It's so interesting. Of course, I also saw people having that, but it's way more common to not have that. And I wonder why. Is that something you really prefer? Or is it more based on it's always been like this in the shower, it's too expensive to change it? I don't know. I'm curious about that one. Please let me know in the comments below. Another thing I noticed in American households, which I appreciate so much because I have been doing this for the last 5.5 years too, more due to environmental reasons, but I'm kind of the weirdo in the family and my friends group, is using shower or shampoo bars. Yes, I think Americans mostly for shampoo still use the bottles, but for body wash, you guys mostly have the soap bars in the shower or next to the sink, and I really appreciate it. I think it's so cool. This is how my grandma used to do it, and I'm like, why did we go from that to bottles? Is it just easy and cleaning? That's such a weird word. It's soap. It's soap. It's already clean. Just wash it up with some water for the next person and you're good to go. The next thing is my personal American dream, and I call it an American fridge. We're getting close. We have one that's gigantic. This is what I call an American fridge already. It's just gigantic to a point where you guys need 2 doors to open it. It's we usually have a smaller one and just 1 door. And the best thing, especially during the summer, it has this cutout in the door where you push back this thing and then ice cubes come out, and then you push a button that says fresh water and you get filtered fresh, cool water. And that fridge, you can buy groceries for 2 weeks and you're good, and it all fits in there. I buy so many groceries and I still have space in it, and I love it. It's so cool. Another thing that Americans do, and I don't know how I feel about it, I kind of do a German-American mix, have a balance between those two, is the way Americans make their bed. Yes, you heard me. I think Germans appreciate simplicity, so we just have a mattress with the bottom sheet on it, which has these elastic corners you can wrap around. And then you have the duvet and a pillow for, depending on how many people sleep in the bed. 1 person, 1 pillow, 2 people, 2 pillows. In the US, it's a little different, and making the bed every day is kind of a hustle, I would say. You have the bottom sheet for the mattress, but it's often not the elastic corner ones. It's just the square sheet, so you have to fold it a certain way. And then the next thing is that instead of then just having the duvet cover, you have another sheet that's just super thin and it's also square, and you do the same with the mattress, the bottom sheet. So you fold the corners at the bottom and also put them under, and then tuck the sides in just like the bottom sheet, but then the top you take off and fold back for just the style, I guess, to have an easier time going into bed. But it's not easy. Every time I pull it, you have to pull it out from the edges and corners, and it's just why does it have to be so hard to get into bed? Why do I have to pull this thing? Why can't I just have my duvet and go underneath and be done? And during the night, that sheet is going to be down at my feet anyway. I'm going to kick it all the way down, and then I have to wash it. Even though I really didn't use it that much. I don't know, it's not my thing. I wonder if there are more Americans out there that just skip the sheet. During the summer, I get it. That's going to be nice to have a thin sheet, but then I don't need the duvet. So we have the bottom sheet, we have a sheet, then the duvet with the duvet cover around it. And then if there's one person, doesn't matter, it's not just one pillow. Usually, let's talk about 2 people staying in one bed, but I think it's also the case when you just have one person in a bed. You have the pillow for the head to lay down on. It usually starts with a soft pillow. Then you have another pillow on top, which is a little harder than the first one in case you change your mind every now and then and want a harder pillow or like a softer pillow. So you have those 2. And then, we're not done yet, you have decorative pillows, which are usually 2 to cover those. And then another one in the middle. Where are we at? It's 2, 4, 6, 7 pillows. 7 pillows on the bed. Gotta take them off every night, gotta put them on every morning. It's like, I don't know, I must say, I love the look of it. That's where I'm like, okay, I'm kind of getting the pillow game. I'm starting to do that more. The sheet I can skip. The square sheet for the mattress I can skip. I'd rather have the ones that I can just like pop under and they hold on to it. But the pillows, I kind of get it, but can we do a little less, just a couple less, and we're good. We're good to go. We don't need that many pillows. Another thing that is so tiny and almost unnoticeable unless you're German and you're going to the bathroom are the locks on a doorknob. Instead of having the key in it and you lock it, it's kind of cool. You have either you have the door handle and the door knob, and then inside of it you have this little thing that you twist. We have that more like the bigger version of it, which is then the only, I think it's above or below the door handle, but you guys have it like on the door handle that you can either twist or you close the door and then push this button that's on the doorknob in, and then it's locked. And you like unlock it by just like opening the door again. That is so cool. Sometimes there's none of that and you're like, how can I close this bathroom door? And then there's this tiny little, almost nail looking like thing next to the door handle. That, I think it's so cool that you guys figured out a way to do that instead of just having this big mechanic lock, let's say, that you have to like actually turn. It looks so much easier and hidden, and you don't need a key, you won't lose the key. But yeah, if you're new to the US, you're kind of like stressing sometimes if you have to go to the bathroom real quick and you're just like, how can I lock this door? But now you know, and you'll be fine. It's okay, don't stress. Item number 6 is so interesting because it's so different from Germany. It's not like I've never seen it before, but I've seen it once in Germany. And 95% of people have it in the US. Gas stoves. I, again, don't really know what I like better. I think if we have clean energy, whatever that means, electric is better than gas, because gas is definitely not clean in that sense. But it's quicker to cook with, I must say that. And it looks kind of fancy to me, but I feel like it's harder to clean the actual surface area because you have this whole thing, the whole setup. And I'm somebody who likes to clean while cooking. That's why I have so many burn spots on my hand, because I do that and then I just catch the flame so easily. I don't think that's happening to the people living here in the US that much. Maybe not even to Germans as much. And it's just my clumsiness, but yeah. I go with the electric range. I think I'm better off with that one, and it's probably safer for children too. Man, I'm sorry. My nose, like this tiny little tip, is so itchy, and I don't know why. I got a mosquito bite on it. The next one also has to do with gas, and it's so cozy and so nice, and I barely see it in Germany, which might not be a bad thing. I don't know how good it is for the environment. It's not good, but maybe in comparison to a wood fireplace, a gas fireplace might be better. I don't know. We have one, I really enjoy it. It's so easy. Instead of having to do this whole setup of burning the wood and like getting it even started, you just have this one button that you push and boom, fire. Nice, cozy. Plus we have heat coming from the ceiling, still like produced by natural gas, and our fireplace is natural gas too, and it heats up the room so much quicker and easier. I don't know what's better. I have to do some research. I'm trying to stay out of that discussion right now. If you know, you can start a discussion if you want and tell me. I have to educate myself. I'm trying to not, I can't say I'm not trying to use it as much because we use it to heat up the room because otherwise it's freezing cold in here. But I think if you have the option to just not do it and have like a better option, you should not use it as often. But it's kind of handy. It's kind of nice. You guys like it cozy and I like that. The next one is something that Germans are like, it's nice to have, and Americans think it's a must-have. And the item I'm talking about is a dryer. I'm curious who's watching right now, German or American, because both reactions are probably like, huh? What? So if you're from America and you're like, duh, how am I supposed to like dry my clothes? What do you want me to do? Well, let me tell you that we have that too, and during the winter I get it, and we like to use it too here and there if necessary, and you want to go to a party and your favorite jeans aren't clean and you wash them real quick and you want them to dry real quick. That's when we use those things. But it's for German, it's expensive. I mean, it's expensive in general, but I think it's too expensive for Germans often, especially when you're young, to buy a dryer instead of how we used to do it. It's just like having a clothing rack and hanging your clothes. And you can either do that during the fall and winter like I did in the past, and friends of mine and families do it in Germany that I know. Do it inside the house, sometimes in the attic, sometimes in the basement. You open the window, make sure the humidity doesn't cause any mold on the walls. Like we're having that in check. Or during the summer, which is actually really nice. Like I enjoy that. You hang your clothes outside and have it dried by the warmth of the sun and the sunshine. Just make sure it's not bleaching like the black stuff, just turn it inside out. But I don't know, I like that. And what I also noticed is that you guys like to use dryer sheets, and I find that interesting because back then when I was still washing my clothes with normal soap, I thought that the nice smell comes from the soap, and then you put it in the dryer and it's done and it has a great smell from the soap. But you guys like to have that and then have a nice scent coming off those dryer sheets for your clothes too. I don't know, do you have them, do you need them to match them? I find it interesting, like we have dryer sheets too, because we're using like a washing bowl that doesn't give up any scent, any fresh scent, and Dylan likes to have the feeling of like his clothes are fresh and clean, so he needs the scent. But yeah, I don't know, I find that interesting. But I'm going to be the one during the summer, and maybe the only one in Oregon, because I've never seen anybody do that here, who will be hanging up their clothes on the clothing rack in the backyard. I think that would be nice. I'm gonna be a good example for that, and then we'll see what happens. You might enjoy it, maybe not, but I think you're gonna save some energy cost for that one. We're almost done, everybody, and I think the last one is pretty weird and I've never heard about before, but we'll jump into that in a second. Number 9 is an alarm system, and I think that's so cool. I wonder if it's because, and I don't know if that's true, if you guys have a higher crime rate, if you guys just feel less safe because of the way how easy it is to purchase weapons here. I really enjoyed staying in houses that have an alarm system, especially if they're kind of like out of town and I'm there all by myself. You have like a daytime mode where, I mean, you don't have to have, but some people have a daytime mode where you open a door and then it makes a sound. So when you're the only one in the house, for example, and you hear that sound, you're like, somebody just came in, like why is that, who is that? And then the other one is just like a night one that goes off super duper loud. And I think you can set a time range, which usually is like 30 to 60 seconds, where it goes off for 30 and 60 seconds, and then if it's been a false alarm, you have some time to make sure you turn it off, and if not, police is just showing up and you'll all save. I really enjoy that. I think we should have that a little bit more in Germany, but maybe it's a good thing that we just feel more safe in general, but can't hurt. And not only have Americans like these kind of alarm systems, they're always, not always is such like, you know what I mean, often, what I experience often. They have cameras outside of the front door because a lot of packages get stolen here too. And if somebody breaks in, you hopefully have some footage. Last but not least, the weirdest and almost scariest household item in the US is a garbage disposal. Americans are like, yeah, sure, everybody has that. And Germans are like, what? I want that. If you don't know what it is, so instead of just having the sink with the normal drain, which in Germany often has this, what is it called? Sieve, like this filter word sometimes. So instead of having that, you have this big hole on the bottom of the sink, which then goes down and has basically a grinder that grinds food waste that's in the sink and flushes it down. So you turn on the water, and often or usually that button to do that is further away from that thing in general, so you can't really have your hand in there while pushing it. So you, for example, peel some carrots and have the peel in the sink, and then you have the water running, and then you can flush it. I think it's a waste of water and a waste to not compost what you have. If you, for example, have a backyard, I think that's a better way to go. But I still love it because there are usually like some things on your plate left that then end up in the sink, and you can just like flush down without worrying, clogging up the whole tube system that's down there. So I really use it for that. And if you have soupy stuff that's like super duper runny, you can just turn on the water and turn on that thing and make sure it's like gone and flushed. I think it's cool. It's kind of scary. But yeah, here we are with our 10 household items that are kind of strange, pretty strange to us Germans, at least for me. If you're from Europe and you have similar experience, please let me know. There's so many more things. There's so many more things. I'm gonna make another video that's like evolving also around the house, what's happening outside of the interior design, let's say. And just, there's so many little differences, so many cultural little differences that we don't really notice until we're like in that environment and experience it in our day-to-day life. There's so much more. I'm just now thinking of like windows. Windows are so different here than the ones in Germany. I love the German windows. Team German window. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. That really supports my channel. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.